right. Episode 20 of the What Are We Thinking podcast. Once again, featuring our dear friend and confidant and comrade, Mark Anderson from Shelter Insurance and everything else that happens in McKenzie. Mark, how are you doing today?
Fantastic, my man. I'm thoroughly enjoying being here today, and I've had a great week. So,
dude, last time you were on, your daughter dropped some nuggets of revelation. Do you have any more daughter nuggets this week for us?
I mean, she's just full of truth. I mean, if there is nothing more truthful than a 6-year-old that watches everything, and they're not afraid to tell you what they see, what they saw, what they heard,
what they think,
exactly. Oh, I do have a little one.
Bless us.
A little nugget, and I laughed so hard at this, but I cringed at the moment that it was said. But my daughter, on Sundays we go visit all the grandparents.
Sure.
So on Sunday after church,
do you do that every Sunday?
Yeah.
You go to every grandparent's house?
Not every grandparent. We go visit her, like her side of the family, where her grandparents and her parents are at, and we go visit with them, and then I eat dinner with my parents.
Okay.
So we say the grandparents because Avery Grace gets to see her grandparents.
Sure. Well, I grew up with like 7 sets of grandparents, so that didn't happen.
Oh,
that's a cool tradition.
We're kind of like that. We're kind of like that as well. We were sitting there. We just got done eating. I was sitting in the living room, and evidently my wife's grandfather was not moving fast enough through the living room. My daughter comes up and says, "You are old and weak," and walked off.
What a savage!
Yeah,
my God.
I said,
old and weak, old man.
You are old
you
and
can't
weak.
say that. Like, I just stopped her. I was like, "You can't say that."
He just starts crying.
He kind of laughed about it, but then his wife looked and said, "Well, he kind of is." And then,
wow!
So she was the one that really dropped
double
the bomb.
burn.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But that was the funny
awesome?
moment for me this week. So
that's
a
right.
couple weeks ago.
You are old and weak.
I thought of Ivan Drago when
She
she
must
said
not
it
have listened.
immediately.
You're old and
We
weak.
did a
break you.
podcast a while ago with Coach Jasper from Bethel where we
Yes.
talked about being nicer to old people. I don't guess you listened to it.
She wasn't paying attention to that one. She tuned out.
I'm sure she listens to our podcast. Takes notes, different stuff like that. So, well, I feel like that's a good. I feel like that's a sign of like leadership, at least. She's not too shy to speak her mind.
No,
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
She's not. She has moments where she's shy, and Josh saw that.
You are old and weak.
Sunday.
That was the first time I've ever seen her like that, though.
Yeah, I know. She's normally not. So I don't know. Yeah. It's just like a moment.
Right.
And as soon as we got in the truck, she was fine. So it's just
she's not normally shy. Hide behind you or something.
She was hiding behind Heather.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what it was.
I don't know. Josh has an intimidating factor about him sometimes, and he doesn't mean to. He's not an intimidating guy, really.
Nope.
But like, he's athletically built. He's got a sleeve of tattoos, and he's got this. Sometimes his eyes, like he does this thing with his eyebrows every now and then. That when he gives you the eyebrow, I've seen it happen a handful of times. When he's really mad about something, he'll give this eyebrow, and it's so intense. And I'm like, I've not been the reciprocating, end of that look. Yeah. But I don't want to be.
Yeah. If you're trying not to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's my goal actually, as the pastor here at Overflow, is to never get an eyebrow like that from Josh. Knowing that
the brow.
Knowing that if I don't
even
get
know
that
when
brow,
it happens. I have no idea when that happens.
I wish I had a picture of it.
We
so
can't see
bad.
your own face.
We just scare. I'd go as that for Halloween. I'd just put a picture of your face, and people are just freaked out. Well, speaking of Josh, how's your week been, dude?
It's been okay. My wife was gone for a couple days. She's back, thank God.
Boo. Well, I'm glad she's back, but boo for her being gone.
Because you have to take over everything when they're gone.
Right.
Like, you realize how much they do.
We missed you, Josh.
Yes.
How about Sunday? Can we talk about that?
Oh, yeah, dude. Killed it.
Oh, my gosh. For those of you, if you don't tune in online on Sundays here at Overflow, then many times you're not going to know what we're talking about when we talk about stuff either way. But specifically for our online audience, we do this thing called a warm-up before church starts. And it's it happens about 15 minutes before the worship experience kicks off. The first 10 minutes are just for our online audience. The last 5 minutes we stream into the sanctuary. Mm-hmm. But normally it's Jesse and Josh, and they tag team that. And I mean, dude, they've done everything from taste really hot chicken wings and sweat, and everyone laugh at them while they're doing it. A couple, not this past week, but the week before, there was a guest on there, and Jesse had them like trying these different flavored candy corns that were flavored like green beans and turkey and stuff that were super gross. But this past week, Alicia and then my wife Sam were on there.
Killed it.
They were amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing.
Yes,
I think we need to have Alicia on here at some point.
You need to.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to so bad to text her beforehand just to see how nervous, because I knew I was coming early Sunday. I wanted to text her and say, you're going to crush it, like beforehand, just to see if that amplified her nervousness.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got to actually talk to her afterwards, and she said she was so nervous.
Well, the second time through, they were nervous.
She hides it well.
Yeah. She did amazing. So shout out to you, Alicia Crawford.
She did. And she was gone for a couple of days. She had some work stuff to do. She killed it all week.
Of course.
This is who she is.
That's
what
right.
she does. But I'll tell you what's been good about my week. My wife getting home. We're going to have offices soon at Overflow Church.
Gosh.
So making some office space, that's been good. Can't tell you where it's at. It's a secret.
Right. Big secret. You'll never find it. It's like the vanishing room in Harry Potter. It only appears to those who need it at that moment.
We can't tell you where it's at, but it's going to be cool.
Has anyone seen my stapler?
I pumped. And
it's actually at Chelsea's desk, the red one. Bought her
Found
one.
it.
Yeah. She has a red stapler.
All right.
Did you really lose a stapler?
No.
Oh, okay. I feel like that was a reference to some
Office
movie.
Space.
It was. Okay.
Office Space.
Oh,
We got new
That
Office
makes
Space.
sense.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, Josh has been putting together desks all week long, and
Desks.
they're going to be great. I don't know any
hutches.
handful of people who've ever been more excited about desks in their whole life than us.
I actually practiced saying that before I went into office
Desks.
Desks.
Tell them why you're so excited to have a desk.
Because I've been sitting on a couch for 9 months.
Right.
My back hurts.
Okay.
And
I was trying to see the
Why does
downside.
your back hurt,
Yeah.
dude? Is it the couch? Is
It's
it just
the posture.
couch? Is it just the posture? This is our weekly shot at Josh for being over 40 years old.
Yeah, scoliosis.
Every week there's a moment where
I have an old moment.
things happen.
What's my old moment? For
No,
this
the
week?
thing is that could happen to a 25-year-old, and no one would ever say. But because it happens to you, it's like, well, you're getting up,
Josh, you about to retire?
Yeah. Getting close.
You're about to retire.
Yeah, the desk I got myself. I'm going to give it away to the person's going to take my spot in a year because I'm going to retire.
He got an AARP discount.
Don't
when he
retire
bought it.
until we can give you benefits.
Yeah.
Really good. But
I won't.
wait until we can give you retirement. That would be preferred. So, but yeah.
What
dude.
about you, man?
Yo, awesome week, man. I'm preaching again this Sunday, so avidly excited about that. As much as I've enjoyed the break time, I'm really, really excited. We just started a new series called This One's for the Girls. The timing couldn't be any better because it's going to work its way into, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which we may talk about here in just a second, passed away. And she was a huge advocate of women's rights, so it feels like the timing could not be any better for this series. But I haven't preached in it yet. Chelsea preached this past week, killed it, and I get to preach for the first time in 2 weeks this week. So pumped about that. Been writing the sermon at my new desk, so that's been really cool.
We have so many desks.
And then we've been.
Is it ES or just the S? Discs.
Desks.
But we've also been babysitting another dog. So
how's that going, by the way? All week.
It's going. It's actually the dog that we're babysitting is. I mean, he's bigger than Margot, but that's not saying much. Margot's smaller than any cat that anyone in my family owns. She's a very small dog, but it's just a little wiener dog, sort of like a long-haired wiener dog. But it's funny because in some aspects he's way easier than Margot. I'm laughing because of what I'm going to say here. In just a second, you're going to laugh because I haven't told you that I want to do this yet. So he never pees or poops in the house.
Right.
The first night we had him, we sat him down and he immediately peed a river on our carpet and then pooped the most that he's pooped the whole time we've had him. I don't know if it was because he was scared to be in a new environment. If he was like
this place is mine
trying to mark
now.
his territory, seriously. But after that, not even one mistake. He goes straight to the door and just is like, whines when he's ready to go. So that's been really cool. He barks every time he hears any noise that's not within that house. So that's a little annoying.
Yeah.
But 2 nights ago, we inherited this dog for a week from Sam's boss who's on vacation, but he had just gotten some kind of shots done at the vet. He was sick. And so we don't know what happened, but we wake up at about 3 a.m. And the dogs, we don't keep them in kennels. We let them stay in our room. Margot's mostly pretty house trained. She's not quite there yet, but she's not nearly as bad as she was as a puppy. So we let them stay in our room. Sam likes them in there. We woke up at 3 a.m, not last night, but the night before, and this smell, I don't know what is happening. I just remember waking up, hearing the phrase, "There's something wrong with his anal glands." That's all I remember Sam saying.
Yeah.
There must be something wrong with his anal glands.
Yeah.
This is what I wake up to. And I'm like,
What? Anal
I
glands?
don't-
Are you talking about me?
I'm foggy. I don't know what's happening. And then the smell hits me, and I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? We're searching around the room, and it's just some smell coming out of this dog that is just ungodly.
Yeah.
Such a sweet dog, but how does this happen? Because we're having to give him medicine, so I don't know if it's a reaction to the medicine or what's happening, but it only happened that one time. So that's been a thing. And then also he is, and even though he's neutered, he is consistently attempting to make love to Margot. And so that's kind of funny because she's not about it.
Yeah. Like, get away.
No, she's not that way. She's like flirting with him
Oh.
24/7, and it's real gross and kind of strange to have to sit there and watch. We're constantly like, stop doing this.
Yeah.
This is weird. Like, you feel uncomfortable watching it happen, and so that's been.
Put a reverse cone of shame on him. Like, put it around his waist. So, try to figure that one out.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like a chastity belt for dogs.
It's been so weird though, but he's a great dog, and Margot's enjoyed having like a buddy. But every now and then, if we don't like keep the trash can away from him, he will knock the trash can over and get in it, and so that's been kind of funny too. But other than that, he's really honestly a pretty good dog. Like,
Hey, I want to get in there.
that's all he does. He just knocks it over, and he's like, and he just smells in there and walks off while our trash is now strewn all over the floor. So.
I will leave you to pick this mess up.
Exactly right. So just funny little things like that. But been a good week. We're getting desk. I'm excited about that. And yeah, so good week so far. Excited to continue writing at my desk. Desks.
Desks.
You got a headline for us, dude? Anyone? Either one of you have a headline?
So I have
Mark has too many headlines for us.
I have a joke headline first.
Okay.
This is the funny one. I don't want to get serious right off the bat. So, a Vietnamese factory was busted for recycling hundreds of thousands of used condoms.
They were okay. Hold on. The fact that you said they were busted for selling used condoms.
That's the New York Post.
Is it a Vietnamese company?
Yes. They were caught washing,
Shut up.
recycling, and reselling over 300,000 used condoms.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't even know that many had ever been used.
How?
I'm a little shocked at that number. to
Where
be
do you
honest.
find them?
Especially in Vietnam. I didn't know they knew what that was.
Do they have
That's
specific
terrible.
like condom containers where you have to
was
throw them
bad.
away? Do they get them out of the sewers? Where do you get used condoms at? I mean,
Well-
you can't just trifle through everyone's garbage only searching for used condoms.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
know.
they recycle over there. I don't know.
I mean-
I mean that
But when you recycle, do you just separate condoms out from other?
don't
things?
they know we're in the middle of a pandemic?
This is funny. To recycle, this is what the article says. To recycle the dirty rubbers. This is what it says.
It's just so juvenile.
It is.
It's great.
And the fact that I just laughed about
Tom
busted.
Ton. I don't know if that's his name or not. Goat.
What?
32 years old. Allegedly had roughly 1,000 of them delivered per month to the facility where she cleaned and reshaped them. So, yeah. That is such
How did they get out of shape?
Is it against the law what they're doing?
I mean...
Oh, here we go.
Oh, now we got to it.
They remodeled...
The real nuts and bolts of this.
Yeah,
Remolded
literally.
them.
They remodeled the Jimmys.
Stop.
Swear, man. I swear, you can't make this up. With a wooden shaft to make them look fresh again.
Oh,
There's no way to make
goodness.
a no. I'm not even going down this road. There's no way to get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I just don't understand how you begin that process of finding them. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
Here's
I feel like you can recycle anything you want to recycle. The fact that they don't just melt it down and make it into something new, it's like the same exact one that they just remold. That's weird, first of all.
Yeah.
I just still don't know how you find them.
Well, Jerry wore that one last week.
Yeah, I don't...
It's like they're hanging them up on like a clothesline and letting them
no,
dry back
you know
out.
how you know how they do it. You know how they find them. You remember being a kid when you brought your cereal tabs to school.
Yeah. We'll swap some of these out.
It's like they have that at like adult workplaces. Like, where you know,
hilarious.
like your what are they called? Your like your general tabs. Is that what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You bring them and you get
Please
to
no.
get a treasure
Please no.
chest, or like Coke cans.
Yeah.
You know, you,
Bring them down to the recycling center.
ladies and gentlemen, we're
Here's
starting
another...
Oh, jeez.
Bear with us on this article. I have one more thing to say. It says, I'm reading from the Mirror. That was the New York Post, the previous one. It says, all these were sold to unsuspecting members of the public. So nobody knows who
No
got
one
what.
They weren't on Amazon trying to buy used rubbers.
Right.
Would you like to save a
It
few
wasn't
bucks?
searched in the search box. It
I
was
wonder
actually like...
I wonder if this is. I wonder if this. I get Prime delivery with this.
recycled. Like who would buy that if it says made?
The lady who I
Made
tried to
from
name earlier.
recycled
that-
material.
The lady I tried to name earlier that I couldn't name said she, in this article, she washed and dried the condoms before remolding them on a wooden dildo.
Oh my! Did you just say that word on this podcast?
I did.
No,
I read
he-
an article.
He was
Oh,
talking about the
my
artist
God.
Dido. He said Dido.
What's happened? What's
Off the
happened?
rails.
Well, that,
What's happened to the world that we're even able to talk about this right now?
Right. That's just the news.
That is just the news. That's
Granted, it's in Vietnam.
weird.
But it's still the news.
That's world news.
We get stuff from Vietnam all the time.
Oh, all
man.
the time.
Half your stuff is made in Vietnam.
Almost your clothes.
Yeah.
I know. All you do is look at any tag that you're wearing. I guarantee you, it's going to say
it's going to have Sri
something's made in
Lanka,
Vietnam.
Vietnam,
And of course, I mean China, of course, but like
North Korea.
you see Vietnam all the time. I don't know about
There's
that.
nothing coming from North Korea.
That's got to be one of the strangest things I've ever heard. One of the scariest things I've ever heard.
Getting into the used rubber game.
All these thugs out there like dealing like they have
Yeah.
a jacket, you know, instead of like instead of the watches. Hey, you guys want to buy stuff?
I got all different
It's
sizes.
like you can buy a single one.
Yeah.
But if you
Singles.
see that guy and you're immediately going to go, no.
Of course.
9 out of 10 people. There's the one guy.
Yeah, I do need one.
Yeah.
Look at that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't need to take that any further.
Where's the creepy rubber guy at the
I
bar?
already had
Oh, it's so
You
You know the
weird.
rose guy?
it. Yeah.
You know the guy?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It's
Back,
so
back years ago,
weird.
you would be at like the bar or not the bar, but like Jackson, the bowling alley. You go midnight bowling. There was a rose dude that would come around and sell you a rose for like $5-10
for your girl.
One of is same premise. You're just selling used rubbers.
It's not the same premise.
Well, I mean it's
It's
Vietnam.
not. Hey, baby, you want me to get one of these?
Yeah, you think we need
You're
one? No, we
bowling.
don't. You don't. You don't need
That's
one.
not the same premise. I don't think
That's
so.
it. Well, I'm trying to bridge
Dude,
the
you're
gap
trying,
here.
bro.
I was trying.
He's trying to give you a visual.
Yeah.
Roses?
Roses, condoms, whatever.
I don't know. Well,
I'd have to ask my wife because our anniversary's coming up. So it'd be like,
You want me to order something?
You want, that could be our next stop it segment. Stop buying those things.
Nobody uses rubber.
Stop buying roses from a guy at the bowling alley.
That's actually like the brand name.
Or
Roses.
So who in here's ever done that? Gas station, day before your anniversary, Walmart.
Oh, I thought we were
Quick
going somewhere
roses.
else. When you said gas
Quick
station, I was
roses.
like, what?
You can get roses at the gas station too.
Yeah, you can.
They're not real. They're not even real flowers. They're
No.
completely plastic.
My gosh, I can't believe this is really funny that we're talking about this. I love our
Spray painted
listeners right
dandelions
now.
is what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone to a gas station before and picked some up or whatever, but like for the most part, like Sam was on birth control, so I didn't always have to go to a gas station. People are going to get such weird mental images talking about this.
They could have just saw the way you looked at me just then. I'm kidding.
Shout out to anyone watching online right now. Oh my gosh, this is
What a headline.
This is PG-13.
I think we crossed into
Parental
R.
guidance
I think we
suggested that on YouTube when you upload a video, it says, "Is this video for kids?" That little
I always say no.
yeah. Well, absolutely. This one is expressly no. Like
I even say that for the church stuff. Like,
no.
always
I
say
saw
no.
it. The only reason I saw it yesterday for the very first time,
Yeah.
I saw that little tab and I was like, "That's cool." Like I
Yeah.
didn't know that was on there.
Yeah.
But so
You have to
this
select
this
it,
one
too.
may not be for the kids, but
Who else has got a headline?
I just want to real quick say, I've never had to buy those and wonder, is this used or not?
Yeah.
Maybe you should,
So
though.
I would prefer to not have to wonder. that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Ever.
Buying a 50-cent piece in the gas station.
Right.
Mm.
I don't. No, I've never used it. I've never got one of those
The
machines.
vending machine?
No, I've never got one of a machine. Never.
There's so many jokes.
Never.
out of that.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
say any of them right now.
Well, you know what's really funny? You know where those are made? I don't know if,
Vietnam.
no, they're made. They're every one of
Yes.
those machines comes from Matthews, North Carolina.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we've been there because that's where like
Wow.
Elevation Church is.
Yeah.
How are we relating these two right now? But that's where
Shout out.
Elevation.
Not the
Has to
same
give a
company.
verdict.
Not
That's
the
where
same.
that's where the headquarters is in Matthews, and
Oh, wow.
and so it's like I noticed that one day, and I started looking on them every time now to see if that's where they're made. There's a giant factory in Matthews, North Carolina that spits those out to gas stations.
I think
So-
all of us have been on like a family vacation or something and stopped in a gas station and saw like the vending machine of Rough and Ready's.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
you're like,
and it's got
Dad, what are those? And Dad's
And-
like, quit. Don't quit looking at that. You don't need any of that stuff.
and it's got like all this horrible writing
Yeah.
on it.
Well, you don't look at the machine and you don't look at the stalls. Never read the stalls.
No,
Right?
ever, never.
Never read the stalls.
Have you ever called a number on one of the stalls?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, me
The
neither.
dude
but
wrote it.
Yeah. Call
Very
so and so.
I feel like I wonder if women's. Do women's bathrooms have that stuff
I
too?
doubt it. They have more clues.
They're more mature.
Yeah. They're not a bunch of children.
It's like you're just like going to the restroom, minding your own business, and you look up at your shoulder, and it's like, "I'll kill you."
Yeah. Yeah.
What? I mean, it's kind of freaky.
I'm outside. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
I'm watching
Still?
you. I'm watching you from the camera. Like stuff like that, and you're like, "This is creepy." Who
Yeah.
thinks about? This is so not a headline. But if any of our listeners are ever watching or listening right now, and you get an opportunity to go to YouTube and watch the Nutella bathroom pranks, those
Yeah.
are some of the funniest videos. It just came to mind where a guy reaches under the stall. And he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's like, "Hey man, I ran out of toilet paper," and he's asking the
I've
guy.
seen those.
And so that people go to hand the toilet paper to him under the stall, and when he reaches to grab it, he's got Nutella on his fingers, and he wipes it on their hands. Dude, it gets me. There was a day in the office. I mean, a year and a half ago, probably. Whenever I was probably my first week in the office, actually, at Overflow, where we spent an hour watching those
Yeah.
videos and losing it
That
because
is so funny.
people's reactions are like they're ready to murder someone.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they
Hey,
think
dude,
they
they
have.
just wiped crap on my hands.
Yeah.
Or they wipe it on their shoes.
Well, there's not a worse feeling in the world
no.
than having doo-doo on you anywhere.
Someone,
Especially like
especially
adult
someone
doo-doo.
else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, we don't know. You may know what you ate. I don't know, but I don't want that. I don't want any part of it.
That. I will never be a doctor or a nurse or anything like that because, I mean, like being a chaplain for a hospice is like the closest I'll ever get to anything like that because I'm like, that is genuinely the last job I will ever want.
Yeah,
so
that.
very, very random discussion here that got brought up.
Wow.
So
yeah, we've hit a few different topics that have taken this to
so many. This is someone's going to enjoy this.
Absolutely.
Whoever's listening to
This is great.
I would thoroughly enjoy hearing this.
I think we've probably narrowed the audience a little bit.
Absolutely.
At this point. We went to the poop.
Hopefully no one's watching this on your lunch break.
We lost the first half with used condoms. The second quarter, we lost them to poop.
Yeah. So, well, on that topic.
Good segue.
Huge segue from this. I don't know how to segue from that, but the first headline I'll throw out there is just me kind of making fun of myself. I always make fun of myself for liking trashy food, gas station food, fast food. I crave it, and so this is just a quick reminder to everyone who happens to be watching. I was reminded this week of how pathetic and how consistent I am in my bad food choices. And the only reason that I'm talking about this is because one of the headlines that I noticed here was, kind McDonald's worker pays for a meal after customer calls his mom while ordering. Now, this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it jogged a memory in that this past week, my wife and I went to Taco Bell to just to get dinner. It was super late. We didn't feel like cooking, so we just ran to Taco Bell to get dinner. I ordered and I always am like overly kind and conversational whenever I'm ordering from fast food restaurants because I like hearing people get kind of taken off guard that I'm not just a jerk whenever I'm talking to them. And we get up to the window and the girls were waiting for us. The two fast food girls, they're always there because anytime we go eat somewhere, it's always like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So it's pretty much the same people. And they were like, man, we were just talking about y'all yesterday because it's been such a long time since you guys have been here. How are y'all doing? I don't even know their names.
Wow.
And they know our voice and they recognize us to the point of like talking to us and asking us how we were doing and saying they missed us. And I was like, wow, we come here way too often. Think of how many people they serve.
True.
Well, maybe you just made an impression on them.
Yeah, but that still blows my mind. I mean, so many people go through Taco Bell and they recognized us by our voice. They knew exactly who it was, and then sat there and had a conversation with us, and then encouraged Sam. She was crying, and it was like a little small cry. It wasn't anything super serious, but she was like, "No, you don't worry about it. You're gonna be just fine." And I'm like, we pulled off, and I'm like, Did you just get ministered to by the girl working at Taco Bell? Like,
that's funny.
How funny is that?
But it's cool though.
So, shout out to us for.
You know what it is? They may serve a lot of people, but they probably don't serve a lot of people that are actually intentional about anything.
Happy people.
Or kind. Or nice. Like you just don't see many of those anymore.
Right.
So
You're right. You don't.
I just want to give you my order and not be personable at all. That's how a lot of people
have you ever
gone through the line.
I always encourage people. Look at the people, actually make eye contact with the people in the drive-thru. You'd be surprised how often we don't do that. Mm-hmm. If you start think about it, even like waitresses and waiters too. You'll say your food, like what you want. You'll give your order while looking at the menu, and then you'll hand it to them. But like never even make eye contact with them. And I used to hate that as a server, but so I always try and make eye contact with people. So encouragement to those of you who do that.
Good little points.
Any more headlines? I have another one, but I wanted. Oh my gosh! Okay,
hit it.
I'm talking a lot right now. Warren Buffett. This was the number one trending headline when I got on here. And I thought it was cool because anytime Warren Buffett says something, pay attention because he's astoundingly rich and a super intelligent guy.
Reason behind it.
He said these are the 4 things that you can do to become, or 4 things that separate the doers and the dreamers. So if Warren Buffett's giving me an advice to how to become better at doing anything, I'm going to take it. All
Yes.
right. And so this is the first thing that he said. He said, pick your friends wisely. Don't you love that?
Mm-hmm.
That was number one. The first thing that he said was pick your friends wisely. If you want to like do something great, pick your friends.
I see that more now.
Yeah.
I see that more as I'm getting older. You pick the people around you that lift you up and push you forward.
Yeah.
That you can be reciprocal with.
Right. You
That
work
can
with
actually
friends,
do that
don't
as
you?
well.
I mean, don't like some of your good friends, like, or
Yeah.
your employees, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Are they employees of you? How do you bridge that gap?
You have to set the tone in the beginning, but I mean, we have a very relaxed relationship as long as everybody, we're on the same page.
Right.
And honestly, at this point, Alex and I, Alex has been with me for about a little over a year.
Yeah.
And he's done phenomenal. His growth is fantastic. I trust him if I need to leave, like he's running the show right now. I trust him to handle that. But we have a friendly relationship, but we know, and he knows, and I've prefaced with him, we do have to work.
Right.
We're going to have a good time while we work, because if we take everything so serious, it's just,
You're gonna
it's
hate
not,
your job.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even enjoyable.
Right.
But I push him, he pushes me. I have people in my life that do that, and I like to pit myself with people that do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Josh, what would you say to your 18-year-old self about picking your friends wisely?
I would have picked some people that would have challenged me more.
Yeah.
I tended to, back when I was 18, we all did the same thing. So there was no accountability.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's almost like family. Like family really sucks at accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's just like, it's my brother,
Right.
Gotta love him anyway. So, that's how that works.
Yeah.
Unless you're wanting to do something different than them. And it's like, why are you doing that? Why are you eating better? Why are you trying to be a model? So you get those stupid questions. But sometimes friends are like that too. They're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing that for?
Right.
I don't know, dude, because I don't want to be like you my whole life. I don't. It's like
It's kind of hurtful.
That's when they're not your friend anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, wow.
What happened?
so you don't say that. So you just
Right.
continue to be friends.
Right.
Yeah, and then it just gets awkward and weird.
So for my friendships have changed. I still have some of the same friends I had back then, but our relationships are different.
Right.
I can still call some of those guys and talk to them I missed a lick,
Right.
for the most part. But I have a whole different set of friends now that
Right.
challenge me,
Mm-hmm.
push me, to grow and believe in me too. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Sometimes
Absolutely,
as friends,
dude.
people you grow up with, they don't believe you're going to do anything.
No, they'll falsely encourage you, and then on the back end they're like, "This is not going to work."
It's
What
even
an
like
idiot.
when I get a
Yeah.
text
Why
from
is he
someone,
doing this?
they're like, dude, I'm just so blown away by what's happening by what you guys are doing. I'm like, are you blown away by it? Because, because I have my other friends that they'll be like, dude, I knew this was gonna this is how it was gonna be, and I'm always like, that's the friend, that's the real one right there, who's not blown away when you do something
They're
great.
confident in your abilities,
Yeah,
and they know they're confident in what you can do. You gotta have people like that behind
Absolutely,
you.
of course. I mean,
But you have to be that way for other people
for
too.
sure.
Honor other
if you're
people,
not,
and
you're not going to have those kind of people in your corner. I don't know who said this, but I'm sure you've heard it. You're the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oh, yes.
But my gosh, if that's not true,
Yes.
I mean, in every season
It
of my
is.
life, it's been true. The 5 people I spent the most time with, whether it be my wife, my parents, my friends, my coaches, I always turned into the 5 people I was around the most.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was number 1. Number 2, he said, go to bed a little bit smarter every single day. So, obviously, he's saying, learn something new every day. And specifically, he even talks about one of the ways that he does this is reading, of course.
Yes.
Reading or
So we
listening.
talked about last week.
Listening stuff. And we talked about it last week, so it's kind of cool that he said that. But what are things that you guys do to go to bed smarter every single day, or just every week? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I cannot tell you I go to bed smarter every single day. I can't.
I don't either.
I can't honestly say that.
I don't know.
Do y'all have any practices that you do throughout the week that ensure that you are growing? like that?
Read. I have tried to take up reading in the evening before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So that's something that's actually on my mind as I'm trying to shut down and rest.
Right.
So that's kind of the
Absolutely.
last thing that I've seen. Another thing is I'm trying to get away from social media. I watched a recent documentary and trying to get away from social
What was
media
it?
late in the
Social
evening.
Dilemma.
Yeah.
Social dilemma.
It's on
Would you
Netflix.
suggest
If you
it?
haven't seen it, recommend it. 5 stars. It's amazing. It will change
really
the way
good.
you see
Right.
certain things. And it kind of has shifted the way I look at social media. I'm a little bit more intentional
Right.
about how I look at things. But I also don't want to go to bed seeing if you feel like social media is kind of inundated with some negativity or you're seeing a lot of negative stuff, don't go to bed and that being the last thing that you saw.
Right.
Change that up. Like, shut it down.
Absolutely,
kind of close
yeah.
off. And we put our daughter to bed now because of kindergarten a little sooner. She goes to bed around 8:30. That's kind of our routine every night. So after that, we try to go to bed. And,
Right.
and normally we would fall asleep on the couch and we'd get up at like midnight and then go to the bedroom and then, then we go to sleep from there. Or we'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning
Right.
with our alarms.
Dude,
going off.
I hate falling asleep on the couch.
Yes.
I hate it because I always
awful.
fall asleep with my contacts in.
Yes.
So then it's like my eyes
I
are
sleep with
hurting.
my
And then my
contacts.
neck and my back. I know you mentioned you sleep with your contacts in.
man.
It's not good, Mark. Here I am to chastise you. That's what I meant to do today.
contacts
Man, your neck is
Yes,
hurting,
sir.
your back is hurting. Like I want any piece of that. Josh, what do you do to get smarter every day?
So my weakest thing is reading a lot consistently, but I'm a heavy researcher, and I'm
Right.
always researching something.
Right.
Whether it's something I'm about to buy or I just love to research
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I do a lot of that every day for some reason or another. If it's just something in my head, something I'm trying to learn about, and that's what I do. So I definitely do that, like either I'm searching articles
Sure.
or gleaning from other stuff. But and I listen to podcasts too. And sometimes in the mornings, it's not every morning, but if when I read my Bible, after that I try to even read a Tool of the Titans page or two,
Right.
like, just to get something in there. Like,
Dude, I love it. No, I love it. I've got one of the things I've been doing recently, just because I'm like, man, if I can just what people I think a lot of times what we miss is that it's not the big, like, overwhelming acts of trying to get better that you spend one day reading 8 hours, but then you don't read again for 3 weeks. It's the
3 years.
consistent. It's the small, elementary, consistent things. Even if it's just 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day over the course of 10 years, that's way more beneficial than that. But like one of the things I've been doing is before I go to work, I try not to take in anything, any kind of media, whether it be any kind of just like a fun book, any kind of Netflix, or even any kind of music that isn't beneficial to like my growth. So like, for example, if I'm working out in the mornings, I don't just listen to random hip hop music or secular music. I'm always listening to either some kind of leadership, self-development podcast, or like some kind of theology stuff. Who does that when they're working out? But I do, just because I'm trying
That's
to
good,
take
though.
that few minutes, because I know I've got 45 minutes there where I'm not going to ingest all of that, but it's like, even if I just take away 2 things or something during that workout, and then even on my way to work, it's like I make sure that 30-minute drive is intentional. But when I'm coming home from work, that's when I allow myself to have a little bit of fun and stuff like that.
Come
So
down. You've got to.
it's just that small attempt to like do something. So number 3, and we'll get through the rest of these a little bit faster. Number 3, he said, the third way to become a doer rather than just a dreamer, the third way to like become a successful person, it would be to improve your communication skills.
yeah,
Y'all's
huge.
thoughts on improving communication
communication
skills?
is everything.
Everything.
Your marriage, all your relationships.
Yes.
It's everything. How you communicate, how you perceive.
See, that's the thing. I think it's how you communicate. I think everyone communicates. I'm given that everybody communicates. I don't think it's a lack of communication skills. I think we don't do it right most of the time. 'Cause you're communicating with your face, with your body language, with your tone.
Communicate with my hands.
Right.
I talk with my hands.
Yeah, same.
Eyebrows.
Josh.
Sometimes.
Every now and then.
I think it's because you communicate how you want to communicate.
Right.
Instead of how someone may hear you. You don't care.
Yeah.
You just, I'm going to say it how I want to.
Yes.
And do it how I want to. It's selfish communication.
Yeah.
For sure.
It takes practice, but once you get good at communicating with other people so they can understand you.
Right.
Because sometimes people can't understand you.
Right.
You get frustrated.
Uh-huh.
You're yelling and they can't hear anything you have to say.
And then number 4, he says, learn how to say no.
Yes, sir.
Learn how to say no. I think that's the hardest one of all this stuff, by far.
Honestly, I think
my
that's the
favorite,
toughest
though.
one.
It's not my
mine.
favorite. I'm a people pleaser, and so
The older
that's
I
why
get-
it's the hardest for me.
I was the same way, but the older I get, the more I love to be like, no.
Right.
Like, when
How
I
do
watch.
you get so good how do you get better at that?
Well, I look at what I'm doing.
Like setting
right-
boundaries, and
Yeah. Like, just for instance, someone will post something in one of our church groups, like, hey, I'll be at the building tonight working. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I'd
Right.
rather be right here with my family. That's what I want to do.
Mhm.
And so I'm just not even going to say no. I'm not going to say anything.
Right. Right.
Just don't respond. But there's just, you got to have your best yes.
Right.
If you have a bunch of yeses, then they're all just,
They're all half
Mediocre.
half yeses.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
just mediocre yeses. So learning that, I'm only good at certain things anyway. So
Right.
I only bring, but I was really bad at that for a long time. I just say yes to everything.
Mhm.
Part of that is why I wanted to control it as well. So
Yeah.
My goodness. I get it. I
Yeah.
promise. That's why
I'm
I
the
say
same
yes
way.
to a lot of things.
I'm the same way. But I mean, there just comes a time where it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. That's not for me. Not for this moment. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that's tough. So work on it. Let's say no.
They seem so simple.
Just.
But when a
say
billionaire
no.
is telling you, hey, these are the 4 things you can do.
Right. It's like, okay, maybe I should listen to these.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
It's
Yeah,
gonna help
that's
you either way. Josh, you I feel like to bring us to a conclusion today, did you have a start it or stop it segment?
Yes. So we'll do both today.
Okay.
Start researching the things that you're following.
Right.
yes.
Stop following blindly. Okay?
Yes.
I want to tell you what even inspired this. So, as I've said before, previously, it's in some other episode, talking about the radio, the way my my iPhone works to my radio.
Mhm.
It has to go through the wireless transmitter to my radio because I don't have fancy technology.
Right. Right.
Fancy technology to do that. So I have that option. Well, anyway, if I don't have it plugged in, it's always playing 88.7, which is American Family Radio,
Right.
which is the worst radio station that I've ever listened to in my entire life.
Oh.
Because there's nothing about it that's family. It's
Right.
American
It
for
is
sure.
very American.
That's why it's the first word.
Ooh,
So,
that's a thought.
yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, there's a guy on there. His name's Brian Fisher.
Mhm.
I just learned his name yesterday. And I've always wondered about, this guy's, he's on another level. He's on from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 every day. But, so I looked him up. Here's a couple of things I learned about Brian Fisher that I will share. Some things he said, now granted, this is from a website that doesn't like Brian Fisher, but he says, I don't believe that women should be entrusted with high political office. Now, he's a Christian,
Okay.
and he's a conservative,
Well, of course.
obviously. Being an active homosexual should disqualify you from public office.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
God didn't stop the Connecticut school shooting because he's a gentleman. He doesn't go where he is not wanted.
Okay.
That's extreme.
That last one really. I mean,
That
these
is
are
so
these are all
extreme.
home runs for him, but those
Man.
are strikeouts for everyone else that has.
I believe Muslims can and should be excluded from Congress. So, like I said, Christians believe in religious freedom as long as
Wow.
it's Christianity.
Right.
They don't believe it if
Yeah.
it's not.
Sheesh.
But I listen to this guy sometimes, and I guess I do it just to make myself mad.
Test yourself.
It's
Hey, at least you're getting a
Like,
little bit of a taste.
Hey, does
of
my
the,
blood pressure medicine work?
of the culture? You know what I'm saying? Like you need to. at least
this
be
is what
aware.
Christians listen to on
Right.
a normal basis.
Right.
Because this is focused on the family, James Dobson, American Family
Right.
Radio. Like, this is what they hear.
Right.
And I'm just like, that's what's wrong with everybody. Like, they're listening to this and just buying it, hook, line, and sinker.
Right.
All of it. I'm not saying anything he has to say is negative or
Right.
bad.
Right.
But for the majority, yesterday, they made fun of Biden because he's had plastic surgery. They literally sat on the radio and took 5 minutes of their time to make fun of him for having plastic surgery. Like, and I'm like, this is what Christians do. Like,
Right.
And I'm thinking about, like, yeah, that's what we do. Like, obviously, we made fun of buying used condoms, but we didn't make fun of an individual because we
Right.
don't agree with him.
Right. Because we don't agree with his political.
Right. We didn't go
stance.
after his, like,
We don't have that kind of influence, man. With that kind of influence, you gotta treat that like you gotta put some respect on that.
Yeah.
You can't just mishandle it.
but they just, it's every day. And, like, I see people buy into that.
Yeah.
And I'm very objective. Like, I don't know there's certain things I don't know where I stand on.
Yeah.
Like, I had a friend of mine reach out to me today. He's a black friend of mine, and he is just struggling, dude.
Mhm.
Like, he said, there's not many white people I can come to with this, but, like,
Right.
I'm coming to you and telling you I am struggling.
Right.
I need to stay off social media. And I was like, I got it. So I
Right.
prayed for him, like, and but you just need to be objective. You just need to figure out what you believe about certain things, because some of this is not about God.
Right. Right.
Well, a majority of it is not about God.
And if it's politics, it's not about God.
No,
Right.
it's not.
Right.
They drudge God through it.
Yeah,
to
they dress
leverage.
it.
To
Put him
Right.
on the cover.
yeah.
He's clickbait.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
God's just clickbait, bro. Like, that's what we use. Even these radio stations, they're like, donate to the radio station. We're giving to this, charity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, we got to stay running so we can preach the gospel. I'm like, you're not preaching the gospel.
Right.
I mean, Ed Young is from 5 to 6 today.
Right.
But other than that, there is
Right.
no gospel.
Right.
There's
Right.
just,
But a 24-hour
Garbage.
radio network,
Yeah.
you got 1 hour.
yeah. And it's like, it's all fear. It's all be afraid. But I feel like both sides do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, I'm burnt out, to be honest.
Same.
I think that's what's wrong with my spirit right now.
Dude,
Like, I just feel like I've been in this weird place for the last few months. Like, I'm hurting for people, but I'm also pissed about just stupid stuff.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then like, my spirit's like
Yeah.
wore out on the
Yeah.
inside. It's kind of just where I've been. So,
Right.
I
I've just
just
been
feel like
clicking that
people don't-
unfollow.
yeah.
Oh,
and
buddy.
Yeah.
But I want to just like be able to figure out a way so people. I would love, and this is humanly possible,
Yeah.
but just to show certain people, like, hey man, like just look into this a little bit
Yeah.
more. Like,
Well, what
just
you
a little
follow on
bit.
Instagram or Facebook or something like that, it's not always a facade, but they're going to put the best parts
Yeah.
of what
Yeah,
of what they're about, and that's fine. But do some back research. You wouldn't. I mean, we all become friends with people as we're younger that we don't really know. We just click with. Just like we have
Right.
similar interests, and
Right.
we click.
Right.
Well, then all of a sudden, 6 months down the road, you find out they're talking about you behind your back, or they're doing certain things.
Oh yeah, well, you figure
You're
it out.
learning about them. Well, it's the same way with the people that you follow. They're
That's
influential
exactly
on your
right.
life.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you've got to
And like,
watch that.
and maybe it's even the organization you follow or the
Mhm.
party you side with. It does like look.
Yes.
Like, what is it? What are they actually saying? And like, the guy played a video of Trump making fun of Biden's like plastic surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, oh yeah, and I was just like, you're a grown man,
Right.
Like, you're literally on like, I'm not a grown man. I'm only I am a grown man. I'm 40.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm just a man, not a grown man.
Yeah.
I'm 40. I'm just a man.
You're a grown man.
He's still
But, like,
growing, guys.
Are
This
you only a
guy's
grown
like
man
60 something.
when you begin like an AARP kicks in, or is that like grown?
Got his coupons in this week.
Grownish.
Okay.
Grownish. But anyway, just do that. Research before you buy in.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
figure
that.
it out for yourself. Stop believing what your dad believed your whole entire life.
Right.
I don't know. Like,
Absolutely.
my dad doesn't even vote the same anymore.
Right.
Like, than he did when he was younger. I don't know. It's crazy. But I would encourage everybody to do that. We're in a crazy time. It's volatile. And it's just sitting there, lava. We talked about this morning. The lava's just shaking out of the volcano. It's not even erupted yet. It's just
we've lost grace.
spewing.
We've lost empathy.
Yeah,
like
we've lost
and being
everything.
we're quick to want grace, but we're very hesitant to give it out.
Absolutely.
we don't.
I'm
give
learning
any.
that
That's why we
as-
have cancel culture.
Right.
I'm learning that to give more grace. My immediate reaction, I'm a very reactionary person. I like to, if somebody says something, like I'm processing it immediately and I want to react to it.
Right.
I've had to stop myself and think about it. Okay, let's hold on to that one a minute. I may say something that I don't initially mean, or that I initially need to say, that may be the best way to address maybe a difference in opinion or the situation itself.
Right.
So you have to. I have to stop, and it may be that I need to take a few days just to kind of let that sit for a minute, and just send him a quick text like, "Hey, there was something you say that's been bothering me," and just, "Hey, this is my opinion on it." And I've had to do that a couple times here recently.
It's better to like think about it than just say, "Hey, I'm not going to bake you a cake because you're a gay couple."
Right.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I go back to that all the time. That moment in history where I feel like some of this even started,
Right.
where we got so riled up, and it was like we couldn't bake a cake for someone.
Right.
Was that Jesus? I don't feel like that was Christianity. I feel like that was something
Right.
else.
Yeah.
Right.
Or we got it confused. But like, that's what I'm talking about. Like when we buy into this stuff, and we're not even following God anymore.
Right.
We're just following this conservative culture, whatever that looks like.
Well, sometimes that takes priority over what God is actually truly telling us to do.
Oh yeah, all the
Lots
time.
of times.
Yeah, 90%.
I mean, the politics run some people's religion, and that's not.
It's an idol.
Yeah, that's
It runs their daily life because it's now. It's here. Of course,
Right.
we're in the election.
I
election
was
year,
guilty
so-
of it. Like, and I may still be. I don't know, but I try to put that first before I ever say what political side I have.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hey, we should.
Yeah,
I mean, every time.
Straight
It shouldn't
up.
even come close. Like our political affiliation versus us being followers of Jesus, that's so far distant from each other.
Yeah.
It's not in the same ballpark.
Mm-mm.
It is not. That doesn't belong in the same
it shouldn't
thought
be.
process at all.
It shouldn't
Like,
be.
It just shouldn't. So I don't know, but
Wow,
I hope
we-
this was. I hope this was some good content for everyone today.
The
Today.
latter portion of it was. I thought.
Oh, we had fun. We had fun in the beginning. though,
we
man.
went from, I mean,
Used
quite
condoms?
possibly the strangest conversational topic we've had thus far to some leadership, like self-development, growth, Warren Buffett, all the way to, just like growing up, maturing, and how we view, research,
Having a mind of our own.
Having a mind of our own. So this was healthy.
Yeah.
This was healthy. This was good.
Fantastic.
And we love you guys so much. We are so appreciative. This is episode 20. If you've watched all 20 episodes, I'll give you $20. Like, I don't know, 20
I'll
bucks.
chip in.
Yeah, like that mind blowing to me
20.
if you've actually seen all these.
$20.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Of course. This is going to come out on Friday. So as you're watching or listening to this, be sure, if you love us and if you enjoy this, if this has ever been valuable, even if it's just giving you a laugh, get someone else on this podcast. Like it on
Share it.
YouTube.
Yes.
Share it. Like it on the podcast. Leave a review. It just helps this thing get out there a little bit more, and it helps us to get to know, influence, reach more people. So
Absolutely.
we appreciate you guys so much, and we hope that you guys have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Over and out.
Thank you, guys.